When I said to you that you'd gone through 4 relegations and 5 promotions, is there any that stand out? Or do they all stand out in different ways?
There's one that stands out and we didn't get promoted. And I can't remember the year it was, but I think it was with Laois, and it was the second division coming in to first, and I think it was maybe like Arbroath, maybe Berwick got promoted, and we missed out. Do you remember it was the last day of the season and we thought we'd been promoted?
Yeah.
Because I think Arbroath had lost or drawn, and we came in celebrating to find out when we were in the dressing room that actually we weren't promoted, and I think it might have been Arbroath that were involved in that. I might be wrong with that, but I'm sure you remember the season it was. Well, anyway, it was in the old treatment room, and Laois was in the treatment room with me at the time, and it was one of these sort of plastic, like the cavity doors with plywood on it, and when he found out, he kicked the door, and he kicked his foot right through the door. But it was one of these sort of moments that you wanted to laugh, but you daren't, because his foot got stuck in the door. So he's kicked it in anger, and then he's trying to get it out, and he couldn't, because all the wood had gone around his foot. So he's going, oh, and I won't say what he said, but anyway, so you can imagine, you can picture the scene anyway. And I'm there with him going, it was one of those, as I say, it was one of those sort of funny moments out of what was a nightmare scenario, you know. I mean, I remember the Meadowbank game.
Yeah.
I think that's one that everybody remembers. Little bits of it. I can always remember Bobby Forrest going like that. But, you know, like nights in Eastport after the promotion, you know, I mean, Gary Riddle, God rest his soul, in Thames, I remember him in Eastport, he was hanging from rafters and God knows what else. And, but yeah, I mean, the relegations are always a sore one. Sometimes you kind of, you knew it.
It was going to happen.
I mean, the one when Jockey arrived, I mean, I think our first win, it's ridiculous to remember this, was the 20th of November, and that was Falkirk away. That was our first win in the Premier League, end of November. And the reason I remember that is because Darren was born the next day on the 21st. And I got home, and, you know, Nora had been in hospital for a few days and been scanting about all of them, and she'd just got out of hospital that day, and then I'd gone to football and had Kenny Mackay, who was the long jumper, he stayed with Nora and his girlfriend while I was at the game at Brockville. So I got home and just sort of said, whatever you do, please don't go tonight, because it had been horrendous 4 days, even though we'd won. And of course 2 o'clock in the morning you get the Philip, so that was it. But I mean, that we kind of always struggled that year, I thought, you know. Yeah. But the promotions are good.
Yeah.
And then things like the first game, you know, remember the first game, you know, like Davy Young, the 3-3 game with Hibs and things like that. Your first game of the next season and the anticipation of it. I think they're enjoyable as well, you know.
Yeah. I was going to say that what difference did it make when Laois took over? Did
You'll need to clarify that.
No,
sorry,
Laois. When we'd had Stanton and then Tamper and then things weren't that good and fans weren't very nice, and then Laois came on board and just seemed to. It's
an incredible story. I mean, I'm saying that, I'm joking aloud. I mean, Laois, I wouldn't do that. But I mean, when you think we were like, I don't know, 3rd, 4th bottom of the second division, what happened over the next 2-3 years is just meteoric, isn't it? And to be on that kind of, you know, tsunami of just always going forward. But Laois was you know, he knew how to motivate folk. He got good folk around him, I think. You know, he had good coaches. Like to think, you know, myself and Joe, and you know, we all did a wee bit with him. But he just brought an energy to the place, and he was, you know, he changed, you know, and bringing boys like John in that, that he brought players in that were good for what we needed at the time, and he knew he would need to adapt as we went further up. So it was, I think it's just, as I say, there was a cohesiveness about it in terms of the boys wanted to play for him. He installed energy in them in terms of just his personality and his place about. And not only that, he went out into the town and in the community, and everybody was kind of involved in it, weren't they? And we all know, I mean, Leash is still like that to this day. He'll never pass anybody by, will he? And that was his great strengths. He was a motivator, and he knew how to get the best out of folk, I think. So it was a crazy time. Yeah. I mean, when you've gone from second. Well, I didn't go.
Oh, did you not go?
I'll tell you a story about that though. Trevor Smith, right? Trevor used to work in the bank at Alloa with TSB, and Nora, my wife, was his boss. So he pulled a sickie that day. So Nora's, I mean, she's told me this story, you know, later on. She says, we're sitting in the staff room at lunchtime, having our cup of tea and our sandwich and that, and somebody says, "Oh, put the TV on," because there's a TV in the staff, puts on Pebble Min. There's Trevor giving it a laldy on EastEnders. And the whole staff are sitting there with their going, what is he doing? You know. So I think it's fair to say that he got a verbal warning when he came back up from that. Well, that was Trevor. But no, I didn't go. No. But yeah, a few of them had a good time that day, I think.
Yeah, things went downhill then when Leash departed and Ian Munro took over. So things were maybe, well, with the fans they weren't the same. And was it different in the background as well?
I think you're aware of the split and animosity that had been created by decisions that had been made. I think that's the way to put it. And you couldn't detach yourself from that. I think Ian wanted to do things a wee bit differently, which was his remit to do now that he was manager. And it just, obviously, again, it's like that thing we were talking about before when Leash had the whole community in support, whereas that had kind of evaporated in that time, and there was just changes going on. So it was a tough time.
Yeah. It evaporated quite quickly.
It didn't affect me, I would say. I mean, you just kind of got on with what you were doing in terms of with the boys and stuff, you know.
And then it would have changed again then when Bert and Dick came in, the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean,
in a similar way to Leash, but maybe obviously they're different, but not.
Yeah, I mean, Bert was a different character to Leash, I would say. I probably had more a rapport with Dick, I would say. Dick was that type as well, you know. I was remember one of the goalies, young lad, and I've forgotten his name, that's terrible. But anyway, double penalty box at training, brought the young goalie in and doing the goals, goes down to save a shot, playing with first team players, hits it on the wrist, doesn't get up, goes to him, his arm's lying one way and his elbow's at about 45 degrees to his arm, he's dislocated his elbow. Dick, on the sideline, giving it, what's wrong with, get him up, we can't get the game started. I'm going, Dick, give us a minute, get the deed lice off him, get him up, as his phrases goes, you know. And I'm going, the boy's dislocated, well, get him off the pitch so we can get the game started, you know. No sympathy at all for the young boy just because he was mucking up his training now, sort of thing. But I mean, Dick was brilliant in his own way. I loved him, and he's done so well, hasn't he, in terms of, you know, his wee niche up in Angus, whether he's at Forth or Brechin or Arbroath, he does fantastically well. So but no, it was good. And then I mean, Jimmy again was a wee bit more. You're kind of, there's a different type of organisation to it, but you know, you had good players coming in. You know, boys like, I mean, you know, when you had the likes of the Skerlers and Nipper and you know, good players on the ball, I always thought I was a wee bit unlucky on Toddy that he just didn't fit into what Jimmy wanted. Wasn't he that Toddy was a bad player, just didn't fit into what he kind of wanted to do, I suppose. But I mean, there's some good times there as well in terms of when we went two at the back, it was like the cavalry charge to get a goal back sort of thing, you know. Here we go. I always remember doing it once at Tynecastle, and remember it went pear-shaped and I think we lost 7-1, didn't we? That was the one time when it really didn't, it backfired on us, but most times it was fun to watch. Instead of this 40 passes that you see in the English Premiership, nobody going anywhere. No, we didn't do that.
And obviously there was the pre-season trips to Holland and wherever, New Zealand and everything.
Yeah, we went to New Zealand. Unfortunately, I managed to fracture, dislocate my ankle on one of those trips to Holland.
I thought you were coming to
that. It was crazy. We'd been to Delden so many times, and it was a great facility. Were you out there?
Yeah.
I mean, everything was literally outside your bedroom window, sort of thing. They had these indoor tennis courts. There was 3 of them, and the boys would play bounce games at night and stuff, and we never had any bother. We'd been, as I say, 2-3 years. And this one year, one of the young lads was desperate to play me, and it was like the Friday. We'd finished the training, and we were going home on the Saturday. And I said to him, I says, well, look, you check with the manager, because all the boys were going away to do shopping or potting about in the afternoon. They were free in the afternoon. I said, and if I get the injuries finished that I'm looking at, then we can have a wee half hour on the court. So he says, manager says it's alright. I says, right, okay, well. So anyway, we get on the court. Anyway, I play this great shot and I've got him on the run. So I think, right, he's running back the way. I'm just going to jog into the net and I'll be waiting there for the ball coming back over. I jogged in, I didn't go to pay, I just literally jogged in, planted my foot, and I could just feel the ball on my foot sticking the surface, and then it just went boom. And I just heard this explosion, looked down, my ankle was at right angles to my leg. I went, oh no, what have you done? Well, I knew what I'd done, but I mean, what have you done? So I'm lying there, couldn't get an ambulance. So I lay in this court for an hour and a half till they could get the ambulance, because there was one ambulance in call and it was away at heart attack. So. And it was funny because now by this time it had come out that I was lying in a heap in the tennis court, so the boys that were still in Delden in the hotel were coming around. And Skerler was the hilarious one, because he came and he couldn't look at it, but he felt he couldn't leave me. So I had like Doozy and that were all kind of kneeling down beside me, and you alright, and I'm like this, and Skerler got a chair, and Andreas, he turned the chair round and he sat on the chair with his back to me about 3 yards away, because he couldn't take it in. But I mean, at least they didn't leave. I mean, that was a nice thing, I suppose. But it was funny. And there was 2 old buddies playing on the court next door, and they were oblivious. They just kept playing. There was balls flying off their court onto my head and everything, and I'm lying there like this, waiting for this ambulance. So anyway, gets taken to the hospital. The surgeon, he came and said, look, they manipulated it and put it back in place, but they said, we're going to need a pin and plate it. That's gone. He said, we can plaster you, send you home, or we can do it here if you want. And I had just had confidence. I says, no, I says, I'd rather get it done rather than wait, than go through all the rigmarole back home. So I was so embarrassed by what had happened, and I'm saying to Jimmy and that, I says, look, just go. Nobody needs to stay behind. If somebody gets me in the airport and I get home, I'll be fine. So anyway, so he gets the surgery. So anyway, in the surgery they give me a spinal because it's the way it's happened. And the surgeon then says to me, Philip, he says, would you like to see the surgery then, since you're physio? Because they all knew what the story by this time. He says, yeah, all right. He says, well, I'll not put the capes up. And for some of it I was on my side, and they put a mirror so that I could watch while he's putting the Phillips screwdriver into my leg and all that. And the hilarious thing, that bit wasn't what did me, but I, being a young, I had tight hammies. And the girl, the nurse, they have the brush, the brown iodine and that, and they're doing that. Of course, by this time I can't feel anything from the waist down. Well, she's lifted my leg up and she's just kept going and going. I'm looking at this leg going, there's no way that is my leg, because my hamstrings didn't go that far. She's torn my hamstring. And she's got this brush painting this iodine right up and down my leg. And for all stupid things your brain goes through, I mean, your foot's been at right angles and that, and you're worried about your hamstring because she's got your leg up there. So I get it done. They get a taxi, get me to Skipo, and they put a split. KLM wouldn't fly me home because it was surgery. Okay. Yeah. So EasyJet said, yeah, no bother, we'll take you. Right, so that was good, because I thought, oh God, I never even thought about that. They're not going to let me get home. So anyway, so they split the plaster, so they swell. So I goes through security. I'm on my own, crutches, bags. The security guy goes, plaster, and it's got crepe bandage. I says, it's split, I'll need to check it. I says, you're joking. I said, I've just had surgery yesterday. I said, well, if you take it off, you're going to need to put it back on. So he starts rummaging, he's taking all this off and rummaging through the plaster and checking that there's, I've not got drugs and things in there and stuff. So that was me. And then I didn't go to the guy, Bailey from The Sun phoned me, because obviously I was still doing the Scotland thing at the time. Philip, what happened to you? I says, I've done my cleanse, so he's got the story. So the next thing is the first call off from the Scotland squad. I was so embarrassed. Yeah, so that was a very memorable trip, that one. But it was good, because to get the boys away and in terms of that, I mean, we would do things, like cup games with Laois, especially, we'd maybe go up to Dunkeld or that, like we played one Celtic, and we decided to. It was a stupid thing, you go up there on the Wednesday, you do a bit of training, come back down for the game on the Saturday. But it was John Hillcott that was a reserve goalie at the time with Westie. So on the Friday we decided to play a wee sort of trick on him. So at the very end of the training session on the Friday, Westie was going to go down and say he'd hurt his wrist. And I was going to take him away and leash his car back to the hotel. But in the meantime, I'd been down to the local town, to the pharmacist, to buy some plaster of Paris. So Westie comes into my room, I've got all this stuff there, I put a light sort of resting cast on his wrist, and we go down to lunch. So Hilly and that are there, and Laois and Ian were there in it, obviously, so said, so they're giving it, what's that? I says, well, I've been to Perth Royal, looks like fracture. And Hilly's face just went, because Westie's obviously flapping about with his plaster on it. So suddenly Hilly's gone from having 3 days holiday in Dunkeld that he's going to be playing Celtic in the quarter final of the Scottish Cup at East End in about 24 hours, And it was hilarious. So we then kept Westie away from Hilly till there was a team meeting about 4 o'clock or that, and we made it deliberate that Westie would sit beside Hilly at the team meeting. So I mean, Hilly's had, it's terrible what we do to players, but anyway, I mean, they'd done plenty to me in the past, so you're getting your own back. So ended up the two of them were sitting side by side, and Laois started doing the team talk and that, and of course by this time we've only had the plaster on for like an hour or something, less than that. So Hilly's then suddenly clocked, he's looked down at Westie and realised that the plaster's off. the guys are sort of over sort of thing. But so that was one we did with Laois when we went away. It wasn't a pre-season one, but they were good times, because you had quality time to do things in that. And Holland was good. I mean, the New Zealand trip was quite tiring just with the amount of travelling you did, because we came back from there and then we still went to Holland that year. But football's good for me, because a combination of the Scotland thing and here, I mean the places I've been fortunate enough to go that I've never had the opportunity to go and see. I mean, it's been fantastic for me, so I'm always grateful for that.
What was it like being with Scotland then?
Great. I mean, I was lucky. I think I've been lucky through my career, getting a chance to come here. And I mean, it was the same with Scotland. I had done all the youth stuff, and when with Craig Brown, and then when Craig became national manager, he asked me to go with the big team. So that was 94. But I mean, I joined at a time where it was a real good, experienced team. And then luckily enough, that was in the qualifying for Euro 96 and then the World Cup 98. I mean, it's hard to believe there's a whole generation of folk that have never experienced that. I mean, you'd never have thought that come 98 that this was going to be it for 20 years or so. So it was, in those times, it was fantastic, because you always felt you had a chance of winning a game, always. And it was a great squad. I mean, a good quality squad, but a good bunch of boys as well. Manager was fantastic to me. Craig was one of the best, and I had a great time. It was a great time. Yeah, loads of good memories. And the same thing goes there. That it just ran its course. Team got older, needed picking up again. Bertie came in. Again, I know a lot of folk don't, but I'll defend him a little bit and say that what he did do was he wasn't frightened to give young boys a chance. Not a lot of managers do that. And he gave boys like McFadden and Gary Caldwell and that at 18, 19 the chance to play international football. And they ended up the basis of that team going further on. But sometimes managers don't get the length of time to see it through. And you can only pick what is your nationality. You might know there's a deficit, but you've got to go and find them somewhere. And he went through a lot of boys to try and get him, but he got boys like, Dan Fletcher and all these guys that were coming through. Stevie got a chance with Berry as well. So, yeah. So, I mean, football's like that, isn't it? Ups and downs. Enjoy the good times when they're there, because there's going to be some wee times when it's going to get a bit tougher.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah. The other thing that I was going to say to you is when for the time that you're here, we managed to reach one cup final.
I know. Well, that was that time, I mean, when Jockey was here, that was that year where we were really struggling. When we were talking earlier about winning in November, was the first Premier League win against Falkirk. I remember the semi-final at Tynecastle against Airdrie, and I was so, and this sounds terrible, I was so pleased that we beat them, because Jimmy Sanderson with Airdrie and Hearts, I mean, he was a good footballer, but I hated this run up to halfway, run back to goal and get a touch. And the best rule they ever did was the pass back one that actually killed half of his game. Plus, I mean, I never think it was a penalty. The handling of the ball was outside the box, but maybe that was a wee bit. And you kind of thought that, if you get a wee bit of luck, maybe our luck's going to turn here for the league as well. But it never came to that. And then obviously we lost the Hibs in the final. But I think just generally the team was struggling at that time with confidence as well, and that's what happens. When teams don't win, you might have decent players, but it just gets tougher. So yeah, that was the only one that I was ever at. Yeah, unfortunately.
It must have been a fair experience as well. So.
Yeah, because
I mean, cup final at
yeah, I mean, as a kid, 10 years old, I mean, I used to come to the games and stand the terracing with Mel Rennie before he was on the board. And that was that kind of time, sort of 68, 69, 70, where you won the cup in 68 and you were in Europe. And I remember us going to the Anderlecht game. I think we won 3-2 that day. And we didn't get in until about 10 minutes after, and we were in the Cownbeath end in the terracing. And I mean, the place, I don't know, there must have been 28,000 or something. I mean, the place was mobbed. I mean, I could hardly see anything. So, yeah, a lot of good memories.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you change anything about how it all panned out over the years?
I'd have liked to stayed, but I don't want to go into that.
It was a sad time at that period.
Yeah, just circumstances dictated that. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But I've tried to help in the background a wee bit, with Ross and Ross always knows that if they're stuck, and I would, if I can do it, I'll help them out. I mean, there's folk here now that I'm not trying to muscle in their jobs and that, but I'm happy to help out the background, because you've been here 23 years and you've always kind of had a wee soft spot for the place, and now Stevie and Greg are here, you want them to do well. So the last couple of years, I mean, I've been like when Kenny left, and it's funny because whenever I get a text from Ross, I kind of know, oh no, what's it? So, and he said, we've got a game against East Fife. This was 2 years ago, I think, wasn't it? First pre-season game, we don't have a physio, so I ended up going to Methil, which was an experience. Yeah, but I took Gregor, who works with me, and I got him to run on the pitch, because I thought the last thing I want is going on there and doing my hamstring in or something like that. I mean, I right to do it myself. So I said, right. So I said, well, we'll come and I'll be there, and we'll, you'll have cover for it. So if I can do things like that and without a commitment, then I'm more than happy to help out. But yeah, as I say, if circumstances been different, you just never know. Never know. I need to keep myself fit though to run on a part. Mind you, John does well, so I don't know. It would be much a race, me and him, I don't think.
Well, Pip, it's been great speaking to you, and your stories have been really good, and we could have spoken to you longer, but I think you now need your lunch.
I've now got to go and get a wee slaughter in me for 10-15 minutes, I believe, so. Now remember, just tell him that I've been nice to him, right? I've not done any bad ones on him.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Good.